Hey everybody, it's Chad from Roosevelt Middle School, and it's finally time for the much asked for, long awaited for tutorial on how to import grades from Google Classroom to SIS. I'm going to try to make this as simple and as short as possible. It's not a difficult process, but it does take a little bit of setting up to get to where you want it to be. And then once you do that one kind of somewhat complicated setup, it's much simpler after that. So let's kind of get things started and figure out where we are in the process of importing those grades from Google Classroom to SIS. I just need to get a few things set up, and we're going to start first here with our Google Classroom page and my class page here. Let's just go ahead and take this full screen. So how do you import grades from Google Classroom to SIS? Well, the first thing you need to do is create a graded quiz or a graded form and make that an assignment into Google Classroom. If you don't know how to do that, I'll link to the video that I created last week about how to do that, or you can look up a lot of tutorials online on YouTube specifically, and even through Ed Tech during the school district of Palm Beach County and all their information. There's lots of details on how to do that. Okay, let's go into our classwork page. I already have a quiz, a graded quiz set up, so we'll just jump into that. Go into View Assignment, and as you can see here, I have 18 of these turned in to assign. That means that 2 students have not completed this form as of yet. 18 of them have turned it in. So we're going to import the grades into Google Classroom by doing, click on this Import Grades button on the top right-hand corner. It's going to say, are you sure? It will overwrite anything that you've already entered into Classroom. I haven't entered anything in at this time, so it's going to do that. And then as you notice on the left-hand side, it's going to give a grade to the students who took that particular quiz. Now, this is one key point that you need to do. After you've imported it, you have to return those grades to the students. And what that means is it just notifies the students of what grade they got via email, or it also shows up in their classroom under that particular assignment. That is essential to doing what we need to do. So you do have to return those grades. It's not a big deal at this point that we have 2 students who haven't completed it. I didn't set a specific due date for that, so I'm not too worried about that. So, okay, so now we have that done. Now we're going to get the grades out of Classroom. And we do that by going above the Import Grades button is a little cog button. Click on that. And at the very bottom, there's 3 choices. We're going to use the bottom choice. Download these grades as a CSV. That's a form of an spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet even. It's going to download that. You can see in your bottom right here, download. It's going to call it Chapter 13, Section 1, which is the name. I'm going to move this over to the screen so you can see it. Okay, so that downloads some pertinent information from Classroom. The student's last name, first name, their email address, the grade they got, and any comments to the assignment. I'm going to get rid of these 2 columns. You don't have to do this, but it's going to clean things up a little bit here for our purposes. Okay, so the issue between Classroom and SIS is that Classroom identifies the students by their email address, which is a Gmail address. SIS, of course, identifies students just by student number. Now, the good news is in Palm Beach County, students' email addresses include their student number. We just have to get rid of that, and it can be complicated, but this is a situation, again, you only have to do this one time, and then you don't have to do it ever again. So what I did is added a column to the right of the email address column. I did that by clicking, I'll do that so we can show you how I did that. Click on the column that has the email address, right click, and click Insert. And that's going to put it not to the right area, but that's fine. It's going to put it on this side. We're going to get rid of that to the left. We don't want it to the left, we want it to the right. So we're going to click on the grade column, right click, click Insert, and it's going to insert a column to the right. And you'll see why we did that in a second. Okay, now we're going to click on the email address column. What happens to be column C on my screen, it's also going to be column C on your screen. Click on Data, the top ribbon at the top. And the beauty of this is recording this and putting on YouTube is you can pause it, rewind it, and go back if you need to. So we clicked on the column we needed, clicked on Data, and over here there's a Text to Columns button. right about the middle of the screen. Click on that text to columns button. Do something here. That text to columns button there. And you're going to leave this delimited button checked. Click the next. And then you have to assign this to get rid of, we're trying to get rid of certain things in this column. Okay, so we're going to click on the other checkbox. And then in this, when you start the first start, there's going to be nothing. We're going to actually add in there the @ sign. And what that does is it's separating the two columns. You don't have to do anything else. Click next, and then click finish. And then you'll notice it has created a separate column. It got rid of all the second part of the stu.net public schools. Let's go ahead and click on this column, right click, click delete. Okay, we're going to get rid of that. Now we're going to do one more time. Click on the C column, click data, text to columns, delimit it again. And now we're going to change this other box and actually put the S in to get rid of the S. Click next, finish. And I forgot to do one thing, so let's go back. I forgot to add in my column beside. So click on the D column. I'm going to add in an extra column there. My fault. All right, now we highlight the C column, click data, text to columns, delimited, yes. Getting rid of the S, hit next, hit finish, and we've gotten rid of that. Okay, now you still have your grade column from before. I'm going to change that to chapter 13, section 2, just so I have, that's just for my purpose. That doesn't matter for SIS, but when I'm looking at this, because I'm going to make this a master grade spreadsheet. So we're going to do that by doing File, Save As. Save it to your location. And like I said, I'm going to make this is my period 3 master grades. Now, this is very important. You must save this as a CSV file. You can change, if it's a regular Excel file, it's not going to work. Save this as a CSV or comma delimited and hit save. It says I already exist there, that's fine. That's giving me trouble because I already have it open. So let's try to get rid of some of Get rid of that one. Always run into problems when you're trying to do something live. Okay, so now we're going to go back. Do this as this guy. We're going to do this period 3 master grades CSV. Now we're going to click save. Yes, it already exists. And again, it's still giving me problems. I'm going to try this one last time to get rid of the ones we don't need. And of course, this is live, so I can't take out all my mistakes. Okay, let's try this one last time. Save this as period 3 master grades. Yes, finally. Okay. We do want to keep it this format. It is going to give you a warning there, and that's fine. Okay, so now I've saved this as my master grades form. So now each time I'm going to use this as my master grades form, and I'm going to continue to add more grades, more assignment grades from Classroom onto this particular form. But what we want to do now is, how do we add this into SIS? All right, so I'm going to go minimize this, and I'm going to put up my SIS, which will be right here in my gradebook. As you can see, I've already created a Chapter 3, Section 2 quiz, giving it the same amount of points that I put in Classroom, which is 10. I'm going to click this just so I have, make sure that I have it saved. Okay, so now it's chapter 13, section 2. And again, this is just so you have it for your purposes and for the students' purposes. It doesn't have to have the same exact name as you have in Google Classroom. It really doesn't matter. All right, so once we're in my gradebook, I'm going to click on the little I button beside the name of the assignment. and my 10 points in. And up here in the top right, I'm going to click on Import CSV File. It's going to ask you to choose your file. Now at this point, you remembered you saved this as period 3. You have to remember where you saved it. And I know I saved it as period 3 master grades. And it's not showing it for me, so I'm going to find it this way. We have too many files. Let's try to get it and see if we can find it. Let me search for it. Period 3. We're not going to do it that way. Search for it this way. There it is. Period 3 master grades. Click open. All right, now your next option here is what type of score values are in the file. Okay, if you do points or percentage, most of you probably do points. Now, it's asking you which column in your file that you're uploading includes the student ID. So we're going to go back to our grade CSV, and we're going to know that the student ID number is in column 3. We also want to note which column are we importing the grade from, and that's in column 4. So ID number in column 3, grades in number 4. We'll go back into SIS. I'm going to pick the student ID column is 3, score column is 4, and click upload. It may take a second, and then once it's in, you're going to see that it uploads all the grades appropriately into your gradebook. And that's it. And then what, again, I suggest I do is, let's say that you have another assignment that you want to add. I know that I currently have not added for chapter 12, section 2 quiz. So I'm creating a new assignment, giving it 10 points. It's a quiz. I'm clicking all my classrooms and click save. Okay, now I'm going to go back into Classroom. I'm going to find that particular quiz in Classroom. Chapter 3, section 2. Quiz. I'm sorry, chapter 12, section 2. I'm going to click on the assignment. I've already have it graded, so I'm not going to go through that process again, but I'm going to save this down these grades as a CSV. Now this is going to open up a second CSV file, a second spreadsheet. Okay, all I need to do now is just copy this column, column D, highlight it, press Control C. Then I'm going to go back to my master spreadsheet and just add this onto the column beside it. Control V to paste, and I'm going to give it the name at the top. Chapter 12, section 3. Now this is important. When you copy and paste, you have to copy and paste it. You can't adjust these grades because, as you can see, it's going to get it out of order. Hit save. Yes, I want to keep using that format. And now I go into SIS. Go into my gradebook. Because again, I have chapter 12, section 2. And again, I know the naming's off, but I'll fix that in the end. Click on the I button beside the name, then click Import CSV File. I'm going to choose my file. I'm again going to choose my period 3 master schedule, master grades. Click OK. Also click points. I know my student ID column is 3. It's always going to be 3. But this time, instead of 4 for my column, I'm doing a different grade, so I'm going to pick 5. Hit upload. Give it a second. And there the grades are all imported. Just to double check, click save. Everything's saved automatically, and you're good to go. I know that that seems a little confusing, but the best point is to just do it and try it. If you run into an issue where you import the grades and nothing imports, it means that you didn't find the right column. That's normally the #1 issue that a lot of people have. Or it's possible that you didn't import the right thing, or you maybe chose a column that's not there, or you maybe chose percentage instead of points. A lot of those issues can come up. Worst case scenario, you can just delete the assignment and start over in SIS if there's some issues. But it's not for everybody, but if it's somebody you really just need some extra time, you don't want to spend that time going from classroom tab back and forth from classroom to SIS, this is one way to do it. And again, once you get through that initial setup of your master grade Excel spreadsheet, or if you're on a Chromebook, that master grade Google Sheet, it really becomes simple after that. If you have any questions, you can always send me an email or look for me on my virtual office hours. I wish you the best of luck and have a great day.